Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the evening forum of today. First of all, I would like to thank all of the audience in front of me. Thank you very much for attending the forum for today. Our issue for today is, should child marriage be banned? First of all, let me introduce to all of you about our panels for today, because most of them have a lot of knowledge about this topic that we will discuss. On my right is Professor DARIN from University Science Malaysia, USM. And besides her is Miss Ain from University of Cambridge. And on my left is Professor SYAMIMI from the University of Birmingham. And besides her is Miss Sarah from the University Kebangsaan Malaysia. And before we start our questions, let me introduce what is child marriage. The term child marriage is used to refer to both formal marriage and informal unions in which a girl or boy lives with a partner as if married before the age of 18. Over the past decade, child marriage remains widespread, with approximately 1 in 5 girls married in childhood across the globe. In the least developed countries, that number almost doubles. 36% of girls are married before age 18, and 10% of girls are married before age 15. While child marriage is far more likely to happen to girls in some countries, it's not uncommon for boys to marry before the age of 18. Often a younger girl is married to an older man. Child marriage can be found in almost every region, from Africa to the Middle East, Asia to Europe to the Americas. In West Africa, Niger has the highest rate of child marriage. Globally, 70% of girls in Niger are married before the age of 18. And that is the introduction of the child marriage. Let's start with the question for Professor DARIN. So, do you agree of child marriage?
The decision to marry is highly personal, and it depends on individuals, and I think there is no perfect time for marriage. Marriage is a significant life commitment from person to person and couple to couple. Some individuals might feel that they are ready for marriage at a very young age, and others, they may not feel prepared for it. So I think, you can get married when you are ready for it.
Thank you for that, Ashika. And Professor SYAMIMI, which is from the University of Birmingham, what do you think of child marriage?
Married couples who tend to not have a stability in work, they tend to change their job regularly in order to get a bigger amount of payment, so that they can raise their child and for the household to become a better one. So it can lead to a lot of problems, and the married couple will eventually feel pressure because they're not getting paid enough, and when they're working, they feel like they're getting lack of time to spend with their families, and it's not only cause a trouble and problem to the married couple, it can be a bigger impact to their children later. And besides, young married couples are often left unprepared of the hardships and responsibilities of parenthood. As we all know, young married couple, or even anyone who wants to get married, they need to be prepared, and they need to get a better knowledge and a deeper knowledge before they are getting married, in order to overcome the problems later. So this is why I think that early marriage shouldn't be too normalized among the teenagers.
Thank you, Professor SYAMIMI. And let's move on to Miss Ain, which is from University of Cambridge. Miss Ain, what do you think of it? Do you think child marriage is bad?
I think child marriage is actually fine to actually be used. However, there were some certain points or keywords that I would actually check for me to personally allow this to actually happen. So, most of it is that, as you know, teenagers these days are actually grown with technologies and all the advanced social media and technology, but some of the things that we actually have noticed, like we did a couple of studies on it, and what we noticed actually personally that these children actually mature much more faster than us or like our older generations as they were exposed to all these things. So personally what I think is that child marriage is okay as long as the child and the partner actually knows how to take care of their responsibilities, how they actually want to grow their family and have a solid family planning. And with the help of like the parents, I personally think it is actually okay. However, like we have also like noticed some of the points of that this child marriage is actually those who are actually responsible enough and actually commit enough with their help of their parents sometimes because they're still young and they're still conscious that they're actually like. But with their proper help, their marriage actually lasts longer and stronger, and their bond is actually stronger than those people who have been married for like 30 years. That's what we notice actually. So, yeah, my point is that yes, I agree with this. As long as there were proper guidance, and they actually show that they were responsible enough, they are responsible enough for this like relationship and for these things to actually carry marriage as marriage. I think it's actually so yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Nurin. And Miss Sarah, when she is from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, do you personally think that child marriage should be banned?
From my point of view, child marriage should be banned because one of the biggest arguments against this early marriage is the lack of higher education. Because education is essential for personal growth and for their empowerment because it gives people the information and ability they need to escape the cycle of poverty. Not only that, child marriage prevents this vital part since young brides are sometimes forced to drop out of school in order to take on adult duties. So with the higher education, people are able to find and obtain good employment and opportunities with a college degree, which will help them to achieve long-term monetary success.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah. And let's get back to Prof. Dari Ashika. Prof. Dari, do you think that marrying at an early age means less pressure?
Yeah, for me, marrying at an early age may mean that there is less pressure, okay? It means that your parents will not push you to have a child immediately after you get married. So, they who marry young may have more time to focus on their relationships. They can focus on their personal development, their career goals. So this can provide them with opportunities to establish a strong foundation for their marriage. They also can build financial stability and pursue individuals and share aspirations together. Other than that, delaying parenthood can allow them to further explore and understand their own desire, their own values and priorities before making the lifelong commitment to raise children. So yeah, I think it is marrying at an early age. Less pressure. Sorry.
Thank you, Prof. Dari Ashika. And Professor SYAMIMI, do you think that young married couples tend to have a chance of enjoying life?
Personally, I think that young married couple tend to not have a chance of enjoying their life, their young life, Failure to do so may lead to them become emotionally instability. As we all know, as a human being, we tend to want a break time for ourselves. And young married couples tend to not have a time of that because they are busy of their life to raise a child, for the responsibilities towards the partner and household. So I think that when they are not having the time for their young life, they can sometimes become pressure, depressed, stressed that we might actually not have noticed. So we can see that it can lead to a mental health later on their life.
And Miss Anne, as in earlier you said that child marriage is fine. Do you think child marriage is good for relationship?
I think child marriage is actually a really good in bonding a relationship. It could be from an individual to an individual or like the couple itself. So when you're young, like you're young, you have adventure, you like adventure. And with a significant other that is actually that you can go to your adventure without actually worrying, or I think personally it would be much more a sweeter marriage for you instead of actually going to a friend with a friend who you might not even know it will last long. And for relationship, like as teenagers, they want the adventure, they crave it, they want to submerge in it. And from there, they can actually learn more about each other, and their bond will eventually grow stronger as they will learn each other's flaws. They will actually like figure out together on how life works, on how this works, or how to actually, for example, like bake a proper bread. Like you want to eat a proper bread, so you try and error, you do it together. And that way, even a small activity as that will actually bond them much more better and stronger, that their relationship and they will grow to be responsible in a way by themselves just by learning those things and actually spending time with the same other. So here we actually had we can see the result ourselves actually with it, and the result is that it shows that teenagers who actually marry young, who are responsibilities, they are actually their bond with their significant other is actually much more stronger, and their responsibilities are actually higher. Their levels of responsibilities are actually higher than the average person who married in their late 20s or 30s. And it actually showed a really positive effect itself, and they do planning everything together, which made things for their marriage is actually much more smoother, surprisingly, and less argument in their marriage than those who are married for 45 to 30 to 40 years. I hope my answer your question.
Thank you, Miss Anne. And for Miss Anne, do you think that child marriage will affect for emotionally and physically?
For me, in my opinion, it's really impact their emotionally or even their physically, because the physical and psychological stress on their bodies may increase their chances of miscarrying. So it is crucial for them to recognize that teenagers who are pregnant run a number of dangers, and including the possibility of obstetrical difficulties because of their immaturity and lack of access to support system like family planning clinics and qualified medical personnel that older women may have. Thus, it is vital that couples considering the early marriage's consequences talk about these issues in advance so that all relevant considerations can be made before choosing this commitment type or more carefully.
Thank you, Ms. Latifah. And thank you for all of them for the informative and interesting talk. Finally, we have come to the end of our forum for our topic today. But before that, let me conclude our topic. Marriage has become the basic necessity of life. A person will feel he or she is complete only when they get married. Some people get married at an early stage, while some marry a little later in life. To conclude, child marriage has both pros and cons, so it depends on the individual perspectives. It is important to get married at the right age, but at the same time, the person who has to get married should be convinced that it is indeed the time for him or her to marry. Thank you everyone and have a good day.
Thank you.